Hello, chat. We're back for another wonderful stream of fluffy bunnies in space. Can anyone hear me? My microphone has been a little cranky. Oh, we can. Okay, I can be heard. Hooray! Evening, everyone.
Now, can the rest of us be heard?
Yes.
Only if we're not
yes.
muted.
Tempto did not watch the VOD from last week, so I'm gonna let him be surprised. But yes, let's short version. Last game, I decided to remind my players through Show Don't Tell that yes, World of Darkness, even when it's in space, is still a horror setting. So, actually, I think this is about as good a time to break the ice as any. Can any of my players describe to us what happened last game, or did everyone forget?
We got mail.
From who? They're not entirely sure at this point. They thought it was the pack downstairs, shall we say, but...
We were told it was the pack downstairs.
We got a sigil of welcome on a piece of paper.
And
fun
fact...
That's not a your species has.
Fun fact, I did a whole bunch of NWoD research, and there is no actual in-game sigil for that, so I made it up. Lol.
There's a reason there's no sigil for that.
Lol forsaken.
I imagine they mostly just use urine rather than taking the trouble to actually draw something.
I guess you're in luck then.
Hey.
Drakus couldn't make it tonight. Neither could Neme, so... I personally hate playing player characters for them. I also hate it when GMs do it to me because they never play my character correctly. So I have found an easy but clumsy way to get them out of the action. And we'll get to that in a bit.
My party killed my character when I wasn't there one session.
Yeah, see that shit I'm not into.
You were Mark the Red, got it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Mark's
Good reference.
Alright, so that, hi, I'm the GM and channel producer and Angry Kermit of Magic Fish Radio. I do all the things. So, while I double check that I have all of last week's buy-ins, or last game's buy-ins written down, let's have the players introduce themselves and their characters. On my screen, let's go clockwise. So, Puka, who are you playing tonight?
Hello, I'm Puka. I'm playing Sungrazer, washed up former plasma conduit smuggler changeling type.
In space!
Also that.
Okay, Zardoz, who are you playing tonight?
I'm playing Rando 4, fourth of his name. I am the group's resident shapeshifter slash intrusion specialist who is really good at talking his way into situations. It's not my fault the building liked me more than it liked you.
To be fair, I think you're long past Rando 4 at this point.
No, this is the fourth one. I've been keeping track. Last week was Rando 3.
I am okay with this, long as you're the one keeping track of them, because I have too much to keep track of. Merc, who are you playing? That's right, character.
I'm Merc. I play Duel the Wolfblood. A Wolfblood is not a werewolf, although they are kin to them. I was sort of in charge of things last week. I went a little off the rails. But then I'm not a werewolf, so, you know.
Yeah, awkwardly, I had this whole werewolf-themed adventure planned, and then someone suddenly didn't show up. But don't worry, he's here today. I'm sure
I have a nasty feeling I know what happened to my message from last week, and we're not going to get any more help than this.
You'll have to wait and see.
Yep.
So... Oh, and... Who did... Oh, thank you, Arcane.
Okay, Arcane.
Okay, giant tap dancing. We also... So, on this channel, we understand that we have very few viewers and of our very tiny online community, no one has any money. So we do in-game buy-ins, trolls, and bonuses through channel points. So if you go to the channel points tab, you can buy +1s for the players, which adds a +1 to their roll. Oh, dice. Dice, I knew I forgot something. Yes, we need dice to play this RPG. Wrong dice. I have used an old Mind's Eye Society an old World of Darkness LARP trick to make things a little bit easier. This is a White Wolf system, which is D10 based, but instead of rolling a D10 for every dot, you add your dots together and add those to one D10 roll. You roll a 1, it's a botch. You roll a 10, you roll again. There are some merits that allow for 9 and 8 again rolls, and it's all a good time. Similarly, I was doing second ed changeling clarity all wrong, so I said fuck it, and now all changelings are on first ed clarity. Minus having to spend willpower for kenning, because I thought that was stupid. Like, what? There are few enough benefits to being a changeling. Don't make them spend willpower to see changeling things. What the fuck? But, I will rant about second ed foibles another time. So yeah, so if you buy +1s for the players, that puts them in a pool that they can draw from to add to their D10 rolls. Or GM +1s, which go to my pool, and I have a lot. Players, your pool is at 21.
I'm sure Boris will find them very handy.
Please remember to declare you are using these +1s before you roll.
Before we go any further, Tempto, who are you playing?
Oh, god damn it. Thank you.
I'm trying.
You know what? I had
I
a
know,
family
for subtle.
emergency and forgot to tell you last week, so it's easy to forget me. It's okay. So I am playing Boris, I am playing Boris, a werewolf, former policeman, hacker who used to work in their cybercrime. Kind of fell in with this group after needing a job, and it's been interesting so far.
Yes.
Not sure if they see me as one of the group yet.
You're such an effective Araka, the GM forgot you were there. Well played. I'm not used to running werewolves because in Idun system, where most of this motley crew is from, there are not, well, in Eden City there are not a lot of werewolves because the gauntlet is so high. Here, the gauntlet isn't that weird, so there are more werewolves. To get in a little bit of the setting, our players, well, Boris is sort of almost an adjunct, is more of a local contractor. The other three are part of Karve Tourism Ltd, which is an intergalactic tourist company, which is a front for an underground railroad to get Supernats out of unfriendly systems and into more friendly systems. Although usually systems are more friendly when there's more monsters for Supernats to fight, and, well, that's just the nature of the verse these days. This is the World of Darkness. This is about 6,000 years in the future of NWoD, or Chronicles of Darkness, where humanity spread out across the stars, and the Supernats snuck along with them. And then about a bit over 2,000 years ago, the veil fell, and all the Supernats were out. And at first, humanity was like, oh, you're the ones that stopped monsters from eating us. Okay, cool. But a few thousand years later, and a couple of intergalactic wars, means that humanity has found Supernats are an excellent scapegoat.
Out of order. I would like to blame the vampires for letting the veil fall.
Technically, it was the vampires' fault, which is hilarious, since many of the Supernats have kind of an automatic veil that shields them from humanity. The vampires, they gotta work to stay hidden. And it is a law among their people, and they still fucked it up. It's like, what even vampires? It all started when the medical industry was like, okay, we just fought a war against the true Fae who tried to conquer the galaxy. Let's check on our resources. Hey, the blood bank numbers don't add up. mean, that is also... Merc's response is equal to what I'm doing inside right now. Yes, fucking vampires. Fucking vampires. That said, NWoD is much easier to run a mixed splats game in because these Supernats are not outright allergic to each other like in OWoD. So there are plenty of vampires that work well with werewolves and changelings and mages, but still, fuck vampires. Or don't, just to spite them. So yes, our team, Karve Tourism Ltd, or the Karve team, came to Limos system, which is where they are now, because in the Expanse regions of space, anti-Supernat hysteria is starting to reach a fever pitch. There have been a few purges in a few other systems, which have been awful. In Limos system, most Supernats have left the main habitable planet called... I forget what it's called.
Logoi?
Logoi. Yes, Logoi. I remember the second syllable, but not the first one. Like, yes, the planet Oi. Makes sense. So they have left the Logoi, but instead moved to Dysnomia, another planet in the system, which is just a piece of shit. It's a lot like Mars, but yellow. So, not the best atmosphere. They're basically in the process of building domes, because they're very sure now that they're all cloistered in one spot on an otherwise unhabitated planet, that they're safe now. So that's happening, and and Karve has made contact with a few people left on Logoi, who are Supernats or Supernat adjacent, and are doing their best to figure out, like, why the last few holdouts won't leave.
Except for the vampires, they can stay.
Yeah, I decided, well, you know, what would happen if the vampire courts acted more like LARPers? They can stay. No drama here. Anyway. So yes, and, the vampires, fuck the vampires. The vampire court is completely dysfunctional and just... no thanks. Our PCs had heard about a holdout group of werewolves under Ponos, which is basically the shittiest neighborhood on this entire citified planet. And thus, a lot of Supernats used to live here before they just defected off planet entirely.
He's a slumlord. No.
Last week, Dune, who is a wolf-blood, and thus, you know, not one of the herd, but still, when werewolves can rely on their kinfolk pretty heavily for those wonderful cultural loopholes. Dune had reached out in the ways that he knows, and thought he had received a message from said pack to come down into their forbidden territory and say hi. And then things got weird.
Thanks for leading us into hell, Dune.
This is going on an evaluation report.
I'm sure my aunt will have words for me when I arrive back home.
If you make it home.
What they walked into was a weirdly sealed off part of the undercity. Oh, that's right. The other reason you went to investigate was that Petruchio, your vampire and hacksaws master, had put together an algorithm looking for large swaths of empty undercity, because they were looking for effectively a gulag. A lot of Supernats and Supernat allies had been black-bagged by mysterious forces and otherwise disappeared, and not just to the other planet. So, and his algorithm turned up an enormous swath of empty territory under Ponos. When y'all entered in, you found what looked like it had been a fairly typical undercity neighborhood, then sealed off under quarantine of Red Plague, maybe about 2,000 years ago. and all of the horribleness associated with being a quarantined red plague zone, which was then effectively buried and forgotten by the rest of the planet, led to enough mass trauma to do some very awful fidgety things to the gauntlet itself. And you have found yourself walking from mundane world into the shadow world without passing through a gauntlet, which is very bad. And having to make morality checks for no reason, well, no obvious reason, which is also very bad. And constantly being attacked by spirits whose composition makes absolutely no sense, which is also very...
Totally fine.
Totally fine.
I mean, Sungrazer and I have no frame of reference for just how much danger we're in. So...
And Dune only has like half of one because, like, Dune only went into the gauntlet once by accident. You know, I mean, it wasn't accident, but it was part of a hunt, and it was very deliberate. And it was, you know, this isn't his wheelhouse any more than any, you know, isn't much more of his wheelhouse than it is in either of yours, unfortunately.
But luckily for Dune, werewolves like to talk almost as much as GMs do. So Dune was, you know, as a child, sitting on the floor while werewolves were telling stories, either
great hunts, yeah,
bragging or horror stories of why we don't go into that field anymore, to glean a secondhand knowledge of many aspects of the Hysil.
Yeah, there's one with a moving scarecrow. Nobody goes in it. Or at least nobody ever comes out.
So, yes. Even Boris had some inkling that, yeah, there's something under Panos that other werewolves don't go down there because the other pack says don't come down here, and we listen to them. So, and ultimately, Forsaken is weirdly more like Sabbat NWoD in some respects than Apocalypse, where Forsaken packs will fight over territory, or go to battle with each other, even though they're all on the same side, unless there's something bigger to fight. But for some reason, no one ever messes with Panos. It's like, nope, the crows are down there, they're dealing with it, we don't want to deal with it. But even then, most people on this planet don't know what's down there. Just that you shouldn't go down. So, as a bit of a in-between prologue, Boris, where were you when everyone else went down? Because you weren't on the spaceship. So were you just back at your crappy apartment?
Yes, I was. Working on some more algorithm hacking programs.
Awesome.
And drinking coffee.
Yep. That hacker life. So, I won't make you roll for this. Boris, you are sitting at your computer drinking coffee when something fluffy and pointy and squawky actually just bashes you in the side of the face for no damage. Well, maybe bashing, but like you're a werewolf, you sneeze and bashing goes away. And suddenly on your desk is some kind of corvid, some kind of blackbird, crow raven. It's hard to tell because future space weirdness. It does have a kind of cyberpunk electronic eye thing and headset, but it is a spirit. And
My first thought is Sungrazer would like one of these.
And it's poking around. Where is Boris's cell phone?
Probably on the desk right next to him.
Okay, it starts squawking at you, and it sort of cocks its head and thinks, looks at your cell phone, and starts tapping on it really hard with its beak.
Oh god! No, my screen!
Tap, 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 tap. It seems oddly rhythmic. And when it's done tapping at really quick light speed, there is now a text message from an unknown number.
Oh, okay. Please tell me my screen is shatter resistant, and I was smart enough to put some.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is cyberpunk land. Like who wouldn't
Never
have
know.
a scratch resistant phone unless it's like a werewolfy spirit band thing? It's like must have scratches on phone face. Like, okay.
Hang on.
What's this text message say? Oh,
It says, your otherworld friends, your off-worlder friends are in trouble. Something drew them into the wound under Ponos. Come help. And since this is a Corvid, it's reasonable to think that this is the crows sending a message.
Okay. Oh,
Techno crows.
why did they do this? Okay. That was a bad idea.
Make me an occult check. Let me look at your character sheet since I remembered to bring them up today. Yay!
Yep.
Oh, you do have occult. That's nice.
I do. Yes.
I forget what eidetic memory does in this, but if that gives you any bonuses, feel free. So, int occult.
Yes, int occult. Okay. I don't remember if it does or not. It might, but I'll just roll the int occult. So I'm still trying to remember everything. So. Yeah. Let's see. So that's a 14.
Ooh, that's good. Where is my thingy?
3
successes.
3 successes, yes.
Awesome. So, you didn't know there was a wound under Ponos. Wounds are places of great carnage and mass trauma. Like, we're talking genocide, atrocities, really, really awful things. Can be so traumatic that the spiritual and emotional resonance can cause a wound in the gauntlet. Which means there is no barrier. Sometimes it means there's no clear barrier between the mortal world and the spirit world. And it attracts all kinds of horrible monster spirits.
Oh no.
Some of which are extremely evil. Also, werewolves don't generally like to tread down there because it makes you go into death rage real easy.
Okay.
So you're pretty sure they didn't have a werewolf on their team. Well, they had a wolf blood.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, do you go help?
Yeah. I mean, they've helped me out in the past, so it's my. I guess I should probably help them out.
Yes is the correct answer in this situation.
You are an actual werewolf, so it's pretty easy to pick up their trail as they were going down into the dark, dank Undercity. And as you come to kind of a set of rusted double doors that are kind of hanging ajar and open, you notice, just smell alone, a marked difference between the dark, dank Undercity grossness of most of the Undercity to this hot, acrid, dry...
Before he walks through that door, does he also see the glyph of welcome that was also, written on the wall that we saw that matched the one we had on the paper?
You see that, and it makes no sense. Because the crows were never really welcoming to anyone in their territory. Like, you haven't even met them. You've heard of other werewolves who've met them, but they never meet people in their territory. And it generally became the consensus of, yeah, let's just not mess with their territory. There's clearly something bad down there. And if we find out about it, they might make us help them. And that's a lot of work. So, yeah, you now maybe have a little more insight on, actually, let me take the roll for this. Let's do another int occult roll.
Okay.
Actually, no, int subterfuge.
Int subterfuge.
And I think your misdirection skill spec comes into this in a weird way.
Okay.
Can you mix those? I don't know.
Ooh,
my
that's
rolls.
A 16.
Awesome. That is again 3 successes. So there's no reason why the crows would carve that in. This is probably your friends were tricked.
Gotcha.
And there's some really you're pretty sure there's some very, without even sensing it yet, there's gonna be some evil shit through this door. Evil shit likes tricking people.
Yeah,
Usually because
especially
it wants
this way.
fresh meat to eat.
Yeah. Coming down here would be an evil trick, even if you like the person.
Yep. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go through the door and make my way down.
I would. One more request before you do that is that you let the crows know by, yelling really loudly or something that you're doing it before you do that. But that's because
no, the corvid is still with you.
Oh, okay.
So
no, they know. Okay, they've been new.
They invited him. They're like, do you know these assholes? Okay, can you help us find them? Okay. The corvid does sort of look at you, like, kind of looks at you, looks at and sort of gives a birdie shrug.
Yeah.
The corvid does not look comfortable about going in there, but he is going.
Yep.
You can feel his claws. He's sitting on your shoulder. His claws are kind of... This is not a happy burb.
My shoulder is not healing around his claws, so he gets stuck, right?
No.
Okay.
He's not his claws aren't that... His talons aren't that long.
Okay.
Like, he's some kind of corvid, not like, a hawk or,
Okay, so it's more like a
owl.
pinching sensation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it might scuff up your jacket a little bit, but
Jacket has enough scuffs on it. Damn it. Stupid corvids. Ugh. Hey, you're the one scuffing my coat.
Okay, I want you to roll me a d10 and just tell me what number you get.
All right. That is an 8.
Okay. So you walk through this hole, and let me get back to what it looked like and give you a quicker rundown because you're looking.
Two steel doors, kind of hanging a little wonky.
Again, you can still smell them. It smells like they went into this defunct grocery. It's a ghost town down here. There is, let me see.
Literally.
It's just this empty, dusty indoor city ravaged by centuries of time and darkness, but not humanoid hands. So that's creepy. There's a whole bunch of stuff that otherwise would have been, like, scavenged if it were an abandoned part of the Undercity, like so many other areas, but it's all still here and falling apart. And that in itself is a little suspicious.
Yeah.
You find... I won't make you roll because you're a werewolf. You see some graffiti, looks like it was carved into the wall, into the concrete wall with a talon or two. Buried alive.
Oh.
There's no longer any smell of blood on it, but clawing through concrete isn't really a comfortable process.
Yeah.
And where you are, but it is, you sense the wrongness that is where did the gauntlet go? But yeah, you can smell your buddies.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep following that trail.
Okay. So.
To be fair, we stepped into the quarantine grocery and then out into another part of the city, so we didn't actually.
Well, he can trace your scent that far, and then we'll see what happens. But yes, you also walk into this... It looks like it was originally a grocery store. And then it was converted into some kind of medical quarantine triage zone. A lot of... Not a lot of bodies, just dust. And it's all very disturbing. Meanwhile, back with the rest of the party. When last we left you, you heard a sound coming from up the block. You couldn't tell if it was the sound of an animal or beast or many, many humans screaming together. But it was coming your way.
Don't like the sound of that. I recommend we get into a more secure position if we can't outrun it all.
Okay. What do you do?
So in this other part of the city, is the thing we stepped out of, is it the grocery store?
Nope.
Okay. What is it?
It is a residential building.
Okay.
So smaller front door, doesn't have the bay windows on the outside, just like normal small-sized windows.
And we're in a residential area?
Yeah, looks like a residential area now.
Do you want to run or do you want to fight? We need to choose quickly. I don't think it will particularly wait for us to choose. If I had my druthers, I'd say run away, but
I'd prefer not to fight something that I don't know what it is and have no idea how it works. You're the expert here.
At which point you hear again, is it a screech of an animal or many, many humanoids just screech?
that's it. We're
And
running.
what you see is a great hulking bluish greenish figure of, some of you know what peacocks look like. It's a really strange bulbous looking bird with a very disturbing long neck, and it's supposed to have lovely tail feathers. Most of them are broken and bloodied, and it looks like it's dragging one of its feet behind it as this just, let me see, what is it?
Tap dancing peacock.
And with the one working claw, it is going tap to tap. And it is...
NBC mascot, 2,000 years in the future.
All right.
Thank you for the NPC buy-in. I'm doing some, editorial control, but Magaths are fun and don't have to make any sense.
I don't know what that is, but I don't want to try and find out. You two first and then me. Go, run, up the street.
I need no second bidding.
We'll make sure Sungrazer doesn't get into trouble.
All right. I'm going to make sure I stay at the rear, and I've got a regular knife in one hand and a silver one in the other, just in case. I don't... I know of bands and banes, but I don't know enough to know them on site or anything like that. That's not my wheelhouse.
This thing just radiates just death and is... it's almost like a darker can pallors be dark? I don't know. A darker
Palette.
shade to blood and ichor, and weirdly some branches of thorns kind of laced into through its feathers. It is just, what the fuck is that? As it's just...
Yeah.
So,
No,
sorry, what were you doing? I was rolling NPC stuff.
We are legging it up the street. Sungrazer first, Rando the second, me in the rear, bring it the rear with a knife in each hand.
Okay.
I do have my pistol out, but I'm not bothering.
I didn't bring a gun because I was told we were coming to a meeting, not a murder.
I didn't bring a gun for the same reason, honestly. I mean, it was probably rude to bring the silver knife, but I had it in my trench coat space, so,
I brought a gun because no one told me either way. So.
Okay. You guys run about a block, and then suddenly the screeching just stops. Dune, roll me what's a cult?
What's it called? Can I use especially werewolves?
Sure.
Okay.
The screeching may have stopped, but I am not.
Yeah, no, none of us have.
That's fine.
Oh, 10 again. Okay, so that's 13 plus 7 is 20.
You are back in the mundane world. Again, you didn't cross the gauntlet.
All of us or just Dune?
All of you.
Oh.
All right.
As far as Dune can tell, you're all still together in one place.
Hold here. We're back in the real world, or at least as close as we can get to it. I don't know if this happy state of affairs will continue, as I don't know what we crossed to come back. But I don't particularly want to try running out into it, if we can at all avoid it. Where are we now?
Everyone roll me wits composure.
Okay.
I have the feeling that we're not actually back, but, you know.
Find out in a minute.
Fortunately, that was a 1.
11.
17.
Okay.
Which actually does put me at 8 because I have 7 and dots, but still 1.
Yeah, still 1. So, Dune, you're still trying to figure out where the fuck the gauntlet went. Sungrazer and Rando. Didn't there used to be 2 more people in your party?
Oh, right.
Son of a...
The
Klaus
vampire and the mage have
Klaus
buggered
and that
off.
vampire.
Text Klaus, where are you? Since we're in the real world.
Yeah, you text it. They have not picked up yet. You're waiting. They still haven't picked up.
Sent, but not read.
Sent, but not read, indeed.
Maybe they have read receipts turned off.
Klaus has a computer in their head.
What?
Very private computer.
Where did
No.
they go?
Very loud. It talks to us a lot.
That's, I don't like this at all. They should not have left. Or at least... Were they with us when we ran from the screaming thing?
I will be completely honest. I was not paying the slightest bit of attention.
I was
Damn.
busy staring at the peacock.
They were definitely there when you heard the tap dancing peacock approach. You don't remember. Yeah, you. Rando and Sungrazer, you got the impression that they also started to run. Whether they went in a different direction or Shadow World fuckery happened, yeah. Because certainly you two are used to the hedge, which is a bastard. So it stands to reason that other alternative dimensions are also bastards.
I mean, this dimension is also a bastard, but not usually directly to you.
Are we
Depends.
back in the real world, but still in that like abandoned?
That's what I was gonna.
Yes.
That's why I asked. It's like, where were we? It's
You're
like, okay,
still,
sure.
and you were also not on the same block. This is not a block you have seen yet. Whether, you're not. You're. Do any of you have a merit that allows for like geographical awareness? Ah,
Sure do.
Sungrazer. You have maybe the beginnings of a headache because this is not where you should have gotten from all the running and what the fuck.
I've got streetwise and survival.
I have direction sense. That's the.
Direction sense, yeah.
That would do it.
Sungrazer, you are not even facing the right direction from where you were just running from. It's like you went and came and that's wrong.
Right.
That's wrong and it's stupid and it's evil.
We ran
So
west
is
by
the-
north south.
Is the air no longer hot like it was?
Oh no, it is still hot, acrid, dry, smelling of hot tar, asphalty, and metal and dust and gross. Back to Boris. Boris, you get through the grocery store, and then their scent immediately stops. As you start to go out the door, you notice their scent trail stops. Before you can fully exit this door, what do you do?
So it just stops dead.
Yeah,
Gotta
Which
look
is wrong.
around.
which
Yeah.
is so wrong.
Look around and see, and kind of do a little introspection. Like, is my nose not working right?
Well, you were told explicitly that this is a wound.
Right.
So nothing will work right down here. The very laws of physics have been thrown out the window.
Well, I guess I'll step out the door and see if I can pick up their scent again. Because this is the way they clearly went.
This will not end well.
No. This feels like a game of phone tag.
Let me see if there are any other NPCs that I can turn into evil spirits.
Oh,
No, not yet!
It's like phone tag, except the phone is made of decomposing evil animals, and getting tagged means you go insane.
Oh, here's a fun one. I missed it from last week. Okay, so Boris, you walk through the door, and instead of being on the street that this was supposed to lead out to, you're in the middle of kind of a park area. But given this is an artificial park in a lower level of a city, well, at this point, it's basically just there's dirt and the remains of petrified trees? They used to be trees. Anything
Yikes.
organic has just fallen apart.
well, that's disturbing.
And it's very, very creepy. And, but kind of on the side of the park, it looks like there's a little cafe entrance, and you see two bodies laying in the midst of, it looks like there were double doors that were propped open, and there's two bodies sort of lying there.
Okay. Do I pick up the group scent again, or?
Not the whole group, but a couple of familiar smells.
Are the bodies Klaus and Petruchio shaped?
He doesn't know yet.
Does the scent lead over towards that cafe?
One body is gender fluid and the other is non-binary. No, you don't know yet. You have to get closer.
Okay. Well, so does the scent lead over to that cafe, or?
Not exactly. The scent isn't coming from where you left. It's like, but as you get closer, you pick up on it. Maybe they came from kind of to your right, up ahead, which doesn't make any sense, but if this is a wound, then nothing is going to make sense.
Fair. Well, I'll go check out the bodies and I can pick up the scent trail again, so if it's not nearby. All right. I'll go check out these bodies because they're a little intriguing.
Yeah, you get up there and, so one of them is that Petruchio guy and it looks like a corpse. Do you remember if they ever said they were a vampire?
I don't think they told me they were.
Okay, they look like they're probably dead. Actually, no, make me a wits occult roll. You would know what vampire. You have a cult of 4. Yeah.
Oh, that is 15.
So maybe Petruchio's dead. Maybe he's a vampire. Like even odds considering this group. The other person is Klaus. Klaus looks unconscious but alive.
Okay. Well,
Are they though? Or did they just forget to die?
I mean, they are a Moros, but Moros, I've checked, don't look like corpses when they're asleep.
Okay. That's actually what I was asking, because, like, was Klaus actually dead and just forgot to lay down, or is it that they just forgot to die?
Klaus is complicated, but
Yeah.
that's
Well,
not one of their foibles.
Mage is complicated,
Mage.
straight up.
I'm pretty sure in my current form, I'm not strong enough to actually pick them up, and carry them for a good way. So I'm actually going to change to my Urhan form
Okay,
and try and get them up on my back.
as you're doing that, roll to dodge. Wait, what is dodge again? Roll dex dodge.
So just a straight dex roll then?
Oh, you don't have any dodge. Yep.
Athletic, isn't it?
What's the negative penalty for not having a physical? Oh wait, do they not have?
It's athletics, isn't it?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
athletics.
Dex plus athletics.
Well, you don't have any athletics, so
Nope. So I just
Minus
have-
one unskilled.
-1 unskilled. Sorry,
Okay.
bruh.
That's all right. Oh, so well, that's an 11 at least because that was a nat 10.
Yay! Roll again.
Oh,
And that's another 2 on there.
Okay, so
13 is 2 successes.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll say since you've already shifted, you are able to dodge out of the way and yank the 2 bodies with you because the entire door frame grew teeth and started contracting at you.
I hate
Because
mimics.
someone, Fadier, bought an NPC door mimic.
I fucking hate mimics.
So
Thanks,
yeah, door
Fadier.
mimic. Thank you, chat.
Oh. Well, I'm getting the hell out of here because I don't like mimics. I'm not fighting
So,
that
yeah.
thing.
Urhan is the,
It's the direwolf form, basically.
Oh, okay. So you kind of just get under them because you don't have opposable thumbs in this one.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Alright, that... Do you have any means with which to, like, tie them to you? Because it's kind of hard to keep 2 limp bodies on a direwolf.
Nope,
Without them
got
fly-
nothing. But I am a direwolf. I'm like, so it's like they're not exactly draped over. It's kind of like my back is much bigger, so pretty huge.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do the best I can and just move as quickly as I can without dropping them.
You have, like, 4 other forms.
I know.
A
But my
couple of them
strength-
have opposable thumbs.
Yes, but this is my strongest one without being a violent death machine. So.
Okay.
Yep.
Truly something out of the ordinary. Huzzah! Okay. So. And the birdie burb is... So you can kind of smell where these 2 came from.
Okay.
You're not sure if that's going to lead you in any kind of effective manner, but it's a direction. Did you happen to take any Iraka-based tracking powers?
I don't believe so.
Whoops.
Oh
well.
Yeah, no. Boris was not much of a tracker in his youth. He liked computers a little more.
Digital hunter.
Yep.
Not analog. If only you'd pay more attention to tracking in werewolf school. Meanwhile, back to the other 3. So...
So we're in the real world for now. I don't know precisely where we came from or how to get out again. I was not familiar with the maps of this particular location. I believe that Petruchio had them, unfortunately.
Well, that's just great. I'm gonna look over to Rando and just shrug and say, "Hedge."
Try the hedge, yes.
I don't really want to walk around. I don't want to move in any conceivable direction because I don't even know what directions are anymore right now. So,
Well, I have a trick I can play in a second, but let's try and hedge out of here first, and then I will attempt something stupid.
Cool.
hedge first, stupid later.
Oh, I don't like this tool.
I suppose I'll try to open a door to the hedge.
Okay, to do that, you need to find something that looks like a doorway already.
Are there any doorway-shaped things in the vicinity?
I mean, we are in a residential area, so...
Yes.
Can I use a window? Just for shiggles, really.
While Sungrazer is doing that, I will actually take a step over to Rando and hand him a pistol out of my trenchcoat space.
Good timing. As Sungrazer, I'd say you can use a window.
If it devolves into violence, this is going to be less useful than anything else I can do, naturally. So,
At which point, you start to hear...
You said you'd wanted one, so...
moaning.
No, I said I didn't bring one.
And not exactly footsteps, but like foot drags. And a lot of them.
From where?
From a bit further up than you are, Sungrazer, so coming around a corner near the building where you were looking for a window.
The thing about spirits is that while regular weapons may damage them, they are particularly susceptible to one form or another of damage. However, figuring out what sort of damage they are most susceptible to is not one of my skills.
While Dune is talking about a discourse on spirits, I'm opening the window and trying to open into the hedge.
Okay. So you go to open the window. You go push up, and then inexplicably, in ways that define physics and all actual, like, causality, it opens downwards.
Sure.
And you are unable to open a hedge gate.
So it's like one of those glass sliding doors that go past each other. So while you're pushing up, it's...
Well, it's like the window in my apartment that every time I open it, the top slides down, and then you have to, like... It's the worst.
And, well, actually, let me amend that. You try to open a hedge gate, and it does open. But as I said, physics isn't working properly here. So instead of you going into the hedge, a massive... Have you ever seen a plant burn, and instead of just turning to ash, it starts to bubble with ichor? Because, you know, technically it's full of water, and its cell membranes are bursting.
Because the sap is bubbling out. Yeah, something like that.
Those start to coil out of the window at you.
Is that Firethorn?
Blackened, and it is not Firethorn.
Okay.
It was green, and now it is slowly turning to black, oily slime and sharp thorns.
I close the window. No, I will probably step back with great enthusiasm.
Yeah, because they are grasping for you, not very quickly, but your distinction, maybe I should step back. At which point you see the figures shambling around the corner. And it takes you a minute because more or less there are about 20 humanoids walking towards you. Some look like they've had the flesh rent off their bodies, some look half skeleton, some look fairly humanoid. Others are people who had snouts and ram horns, claws. One is a hulking figure about 5 feet taller than the rest with what would have been a wolf muzzle, but the jaw has fallen off, and it is disturbing even for the world of darkness. Roll me a wits occult.
Roll to detect zombolds.
Zombo. Everybody or just him?
Well, they saw it first, but everyone else, if, you know, you think you also heard the shambling, so if you're looking, you know, sure. Yeah, everyone go for it.
11.
Rando, what number did you roll?
9.
Sungrazer, what was your roll?
8. I feel like I don't know if Zombolv is a thing, but if it is, this might be it.
Yeah, Zombos are kind of rumored in the world of darkness, but no one's really sure if they're just, like, really ugly vampires, or, like, dead raised by deathmate, or, like, it's weird when there's a supernatural entity that in itself is still a myth in a setting where myths are real. These might be zombos, but Sungrazer and Rando, a lot of them look like changelings, not just without their skin on, but without their without their, human mask on.
Oh.
And that's really fucked up and disturbing. You cannot tell if they're real or spirits or zombos or what, but it looks awful, and what do you do? They're not moving. A few of them are, like, dragging themselves along the ground because they don't have legs anymore. These are at least slow zombos. And, some are getting the very unhappy hedge stuff that has crawled out of that window. Some of them seem to be, especially those with horns and hooves remaining, are kind of instinctively reaching for it, and it's really even more disturbing.
Gross.
The hedge seems to be, these hedge thorn vines seem to be consuming some of these bodies, and it's, this is really fucked up looking.
Better them than us. Sorry, zombos, but,
Sorry, zombos.
So,
Are they hostile towards us, or are they just shambling in our general direction?
You're not sure yet. They seem to be attracted to whatever's coming out of the broken hedge gate that Sungrazer opened.
let's
prosperity?
move very slowly and quietly.
Well, yeah, while we're backing away, I'm gonna pull out my phone and I'm gonna record. Since we're in real space, it's like zombies, yes, no, maybe. Evidence.
Okay, record it. Remind me of this later and I'll figure out what the recording actually looks like.
Excellent.
Because I have not yet decided.
Is my direction sense still messed up? Now that we're back in the real world?
Oh, it's still messed up.
Well, I don't
It's
think
actually worse because you're in the real world, because this is the part that's supposed to make sense.
we should go find Klaus and probably put Druki in.
Maybe we could get the vampire back.
I mean, they do have all the money.
I don't know. How would you propose we do such a thing? Do you want to start wandering around randomly, or perhaps go to the top of one of these buildings and take a look out and see what can be seen?
Well, I'm going to do something else before I answer that question. I'm going to activate that contract I have that gives me control over a building and designate this entire cavern, because it is one enclosed structure.
Okay, how does the Clash of Wills part of that work?
I roll my weird against their whatever their stat is.
Okay, let me bring up...
I was hoping that I was going to get to do this against something that had a stat.
This is like the climax of The Shining.
Yes, kinda.
Okay, let me... I feel like I should have seen this coming, so I feel...
No, this is actually my plot my plan that I came up with about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, that's fine. I
This is
still
not
feel
a-
like I should have, because you like that contract a lot.
It gets me in and out of jams.
What is your power stat?
My weird rating is 5.
Okay. And, so, okay.
I'm going to spend 3 player plus ones.
Okay.
Let's see. Plus 8, 18 plus 5, 23 plus... I have a 26.
Oh, is that all?
I 10 again. I got lucky. And I burned 3 player plus ones to do it.
Whatever rules this domain rolled higher.
Okay. So do I burn the 2 glamour then, or...
I'll allow you to keep the I'll allow you to keep the glamour.
Okay, that's fine. Either way.
Yeah. You can keep that. I think this is the first time you've used this power in a place that fought back.
It is.
It is a little bit unsettling.
Yeah, it's
Because
not ideal.
with that high roll, I say what you have a sense of what is fighting you back on, again, almost a spiritual level of soul versus soul. And whatever this is, it is alien to you, at least. Or alien to the kind of alien that you are, more or less. And does Rando believe in good and evil as absolutes?
Yes.
Well, you might have just psychically encountered something that proves that an absolute evil exists.
Oh, good. I was hoping.
Make another clarity check.
Sweet.
Sorry, bud.
The devil itself just said, no.
You can't have my
Cute.
hell.
This is mine.
Devil in hell could suck it. 2, 3.
Again,
3 successes, no failures.
awesome. Whatever this was, you tested it. It tested you back. You passed. Your clarity does not descend closer towards madness, but that is that's also not how clarity. That's not how changeling clarity is supposed to work, and that adds to the alien ambiance of evil and what.
I went looking for. I found a phrase thing in the book the other day that had a bunch of first tongue phrases in it that would be very handy right now. I can't find it again.
What is first tongue for? Fuck me.
Does Klaus have a tracking app on their phone, on their internal computer, or would Min Buttspace be broadcasting a "Oh God, please come find us"?
You do not. You can check your phone. They have not opened their text messages yet.
But no, do we have tracking apps on our individual phones so that if we were to somehow get lost,
Find
or
your
something?
friends.
Yeah, can we find our friends?
Odds or evens?
Odds. This seems like something we would do.
Okay, alright, so I'll say you all have tracking apps on your phone. I'd say that's a good idea when you're part of an underground railroad.
Yeah.
Heavily
However-
encrypted. Heavily encrypted.
However, I dare say that because Klaus's phone is actually inside their body and connected to their nervous system, they do have the ability to turn it off when they want to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That said, I don't think in the current circumstances they would want it to be off.
Okay, so according to the tracking app, Klaus is
Somewhere?
that way.
Somewhere within... That's what the app is telling you, is that they are somewhere within 5 miles.
I mean, this isn't, Eden. We don't have an AI in the hedge, in the front of the hedge at least.
Oh, you'd better hope it's not an AI. Funny how AIs mechanically work a lot like spirits, though.
Funny story. No.
They get Numina. It's fun. Anyway. Foreshadowing? Of course not. So yeah, Sungrazer tried to open a hedge gate. Things got wrong weird. Rando tried to take over this section of the city, and the city said no and touched him in a bad place.
Or at least
Touched
the section
his
said no.
soul in a bad way. Dune. Rando also turned on the Find Klaus app. I dare say y'all have to use that in general to find Klaus more than anyone else, because Klaus is Klaus.
Yeah.
Dune, are you doing anything?
I I'm out of magic. The zomboids don't look interested in us more so much as the hedge gate that we accidentally opened, or at least what would have been a hedge gate if it had been done correctly.
It's just like these vines and foliage are just spilling out, and it's like the moment they touch the air in this area, they just start to blacken and bubble, and it's just becoming this mass of vines and slime and ichor and green, black, and blah. Yes. Someone had the idea to get on top of a roof. I'm curious as to if anyone wants to follow through on that. Or do
to get on a roof.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
you guys start, y'all start working on that, and I'll get back to Tempto, who is a direwolf. Okay. Direwolf, you are... So you are still in the mundane world.
Okay.
You think.
Okay.
Because you are still getting the walk down one block and then walk back up another block, and the fuck is like landmarks are moving as you're turning corners. What?
Now I do have direction sense, so.
Okay, so yeah, so it's making you extra cranky because, you know, the laws of physics are not working and this sucks. The Corvid is watching the skies, but it's also not leaving your head. It's perched on your head right now. It's a little uncomfortable, but it's not causing enough damage to... It's uncomfortable. It's not causing enough discomfort that you have to mark off health boxes.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
You cannot change the laws of physics. Laws of physics. Laws of physics. You cannot change the laws of physics. Laws of physics, Jim.
Boris, roll wits composure.
What's composure?
Which I think is basically the notice check.
Yes. Let's see. Which is 2 composure. Okay.
Feel free to add any bonuses from being a direwolf.
Yeah. Okay. Which composure is 6, and then. Okay. Oof. And that's actually a 12.
Cool. So you're padding along on your wolfy feet, trying to keep the mage and the corpse from falling off you.
Yep.
So it maybe takes you a moment longer than it otherwise would have to hear the skittering behind you. So they don't quite get a surprise attack, but it might be too late to outrun them. And you have a flashback. Has Boris ever encountered the Beshliu?
I'm gonna say no, because I don't know what they are.
So there's werewolves are part flesh, part spirit. There is another category of flesh spirit entities that are kind of a perverse mirror opposite of werewolves, in that they are part flesh, but they act more like spirits in that they consume each other to grow. And, you know, one of those is called the Beshliu, and they are rats. They are part flesh, part spirit rats that consume each other to become bigger and bigger rat monsters. And what they generally do is chew on the gauntlet until it's gone.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm going to say he has not ever encountered them.
But you've encountered rats before, because you live in the city.
Yep.
So you hear a whole lot of rats. And you smell smoke. And you've heard of Beshliu, and you're pretty sure it's not you don't know. There is just this mass of rats coming at you, and some of them are on fire.
Oh, God.
Their teeth are not yellow. They are an acrid black, kind of ashy looking, and they are just generating sparks and flame. And roll to dodge.
Oh, my God.
Roll athletics, I guess.
Yep. Do I add the dex in there for dodge as well?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
Please do.
So I only get a 1.
You're about to be swarmed by fire rats.
Oh, I only got a 5.
Oh no! So
I hate this, but I think it's going to hurt.
Yeah, probably think so too.
let me look at my stat blocks. to see how much damage you take. Blah, blah, blah. You rolled a 5.
Yep.
They rolled a dirty 10, so luckily it's not an exploding 10.
Okay.
So take 4 ag.
Oof.
Because they're not just biting you for lethal, they're biting you for on-fire ag damage.
Yikes.
And this sucks.
Ooh.
They are trying to eat your essence.
Essence! Let me roll for your 2 unconscious passengers.
Oh, no.
They also take some ag. Actually, I don't have their sheet, so I'll just write down what they roll, and we'll total damage later. Okay, so take 4 ag. As this pile of rats starts swarming your back half, and it hurts.
Yeah.
And rats aren't supposed to bite you with fire, so you're assuming this is more wound bullshit, and not actual rats.
Yeah. Crap. Is there a way? I'm gonna try and snatch both Petruchio and Klaus off my back and just carry them in my mouth and just start bounding away.
Your direwolf mouth isn't big enough to carry 2 bodies.
I didn't think so.
Sorry. Augur must call bullshit on that. Sorry, bro.
That's fair. That's fair. I just wanted to. I would
maybe allow 1 body, but not 2.
Then I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to shift into my Garu form for this scene, and just hold them both under my arms and haul ass as much as possible.
I mean, you do get a +1 to strengthen your Dalu form.
That's true.
You only have 1 strength. Okay.
Yeah, he's not a very strong boy.
Yeah. Okay.
Garu is my best bet in this case.
Okay, so all right, I'll allow you to shift up and run. So make another Dex Athletics.
Okay.
I won't make you roll for strength because you're fucking giant wolf monster form.
Yep. Oh, okay. That's a dirty 10.
Awesome. Well, let's see how quickly this swarm of rats chases you. Oh, the rats roll a 1. They are so surprised by your
The dog standing up
that they just sort of like it's like the mass falls off and starts like regrouping as a mass of flame rats, and are like, they're so surprised, and you are able to run away. Please bring up the Kuruth rules to tell and it, page number me, and we'll get back to the rest of the party, who maybe have noticed this, but we'll see. Have you all, how are you guys getting to the top of a building?
Presumably there are stairs inside.
Okay, just checking.
I mean, I'm not particularly enamored with the idea of climbing the outside of a building, although there is less chance to accidentally walk through a door to the Never Never.
Some of us might prefer to just fly up, but
if you can,
that's,
then I would recommend that you do so.
Yeah.
Without us, because I can climb the outside of a building. Dune is definitely able to do that, but going through doors and other thresholds might not be a great idea at this point in time.
Yeah, or entering dank buildings.
Thank you, Malk Maven, for that GM +1. And someone else bought an NPC, yay!
Mm-hmm. Black Cherry Jellycat.
Okay. Oh, he also bought another one. Hold on. Alright, we'll work that. Okay. I have editorial final say. Okay. So, yeah, I'd say, so you all get to the top of the building. Dune, you were in the spirit world again.
We changed our plan.
Oh, you did? Okay, so what?
Yeah, we stood down. Me and Rando are staying at the bottom, while Puka, who can fly, lightning dragon spirit thing, whatever, went up to see things. So we didn't cross thresholds.
Well, no, you didn't, but Sungrazer did.
Well, let me explain what I'm doing first and roll for it, because both of those are necessary.
Okay.
So I'm going to use Riding the Falling Leaves, the contract.
Okay.
And pull out some leaves that I keep for just such purpose to invoke it.
Okay.
So if I roll this successfully, which I think I can, just check the stats. It's a roll to not fail situation. So.
Okay.
So I did not fail. Cool. So Sungrazer's form dissolves into a burst of autumn leaves that start swirling around and rising up into the air.
Okay.
And really, all I want to do is rise up into the air and like look around, get as high up as I can to survey the area. And if that entails entering the spirit world, okay, but that's my plan.
So yes, you swirl up into the air and are now in the spirit world. I don't know if that Sungrazer would have anything that allows them to understand that. You can still see your friends below you.
What happens when I swirl back down?
We'll have to see that when you swirl back down. As you swirl up, does it say anything about bonuses or detriments to your senses?
No.
Okay, then roll wits investigation or wits composure if you don't have investigation. Since I assume you're going up there to get an eagle eye view of the area, so yeah. Investigation.
16.
That is 3 successes. So you swirl up, you feel something weird. You can't quite put your finger on it because you're a changeling and you don't know spirit stuff. You can sense
goes goofy the other way.
You can still see your friends down there. You also hear, you almost feel more than hear, a howl of a wolf a few blocks away. And as you look over that, you see, like, something tall, bipedal, and wolf-like carrying 2 bodies and running away from a mass of fur and fire? That you're not sure if that's, like, one mass or a bunch of little things in a mass. But yeah, you see that's weird. And it has a bird on its head. The bird seems to be, instead of flying, holding on for dear life. It's just like,
Given the shit we've seen so far, this is all pretty tame.
That's like the least weird shit you've seen lately.
So, can I make out that the bodies are Petruchio and Klaus? Or them?
I'm sorry, that pause there was just like, can I make out? And I'm like, with what? And then you finish the thought.
With the zombos.
Maybe. You can't really see their faces based on how they're slung over this thing's shoulders, but the clothing colors are similar.
So I'm curious what happens when I start swirling back down.
Fun fact, you now have a better sense of navigating, kind of. But when you touch down onto the ground, you were in the path of the running wolf monster instead of the 2 friends you just left.
Okay, I am still made of leaves. So
you are still made of leaves. Boris, a puff of leaves descends in front of you. You know, what page is all that wonderful death rage goodness on?
It starts on page 102.
102.
How similar does Boris look to himself? Because I've never seen him as a rampaging death wolf, but
Sometime, I forget if your clothes shift with you, but you wouldn't have shown. I don't think there was ever any opportunity to show your friends your renown marks.
No, and
So-
clothes do shift with me, so
Yeah.
we haven't reached that level in our relationship.
no, not yet.
Like, this wolf
Dinner
monster
first.
is the
Dinner, a
same.
movie, then show me your renown marks.
This wolf monster. Oh wait, no. And when but you saw Boris turn into a dire wolf at the party
Yes.
before
Yeah.
you went into Black and White Land.
Yep.
So the one thing I can say for sure is that this wolf monster has the same color fur as the dire wolf you saw. That was Officer Bork. And actually, yeah. Now that you've touched down, oh yeah, that's Klaus and Petruchio unconscious on top of a werewolf of some kind of wolf monster,
As
Being
long as
chased
the wolf
by-
monster, yeah,
being chased by a pile of fire rats.
but the wolf monster looks vaguely familiar. Therefore, I'm not worried about Klaus and Petruchio at the moment.
Actually, roll me into cult. Unless, do you think Sungrazer has ever seen a werewolf in werewolf form?
Maybe like on a video or something. Probably not in the flesh.
Okay, then roll into cult to see if you recognize.
Just barely.
Okay, you are reasonably sure that's a werewolf in werewolf form. Maybe it's Officer Bork. It's the same color as Officer Bork. You
I
don't
feel
know
like-
what werewolves look like offhand.
If it were a hostile werewolf, it would probably not be like carefully running and carrying the people I know. It would probably instead be, I don't know, eating them or sniffing them or whatever werewolves do.
Werewolf.
Eating them or sniffing them.
Does it look like the rats are immediately threatening? I mean,
yes, in
without
fact,
As leaves, I would imagine you are very afraid of the fire.
in fact, the wolf monster looks like he's still a little bit on fire because it looks
Okay.
like he got hit pretty
Singed a bit.
bad.
So there's a cool thing that I can do in leaf form, which is inflict the spooked condition on a foe. So, can I scare the rats whilst maintaining enough distance to not catch fire as leaves? Which is a sentence I never thought that I would utter in any context.
You know, it depends on how high you roll.
These games seem to have us uttering sentences that we never thought we would in any context.
Then
Yeah.
I'm doing my job
Um,
correctly, I think.
Yep.
By my standards, I'm doing my job correctly.
okay, you know what? I take it back. It's only if I dodge that I can do that. So I won't.
Okay.
I'll just fly ahead of the wolf. And
And given that I'm being chased by fire rats, some pile of leaves suddenly descending out of nowhere when everything else looks like it's petrified. I'm dodging around the leaves and not going near them.
I'd say if Sungrazer isn't trying to hit you, then that I won't make you roll for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easy enough. You don't know what the fuck those are.
Nope.
You are currently in Garu form, so they don't smell like spirit.
Yep. That's
But
the
you're in a
important part.
moon, so what the fuck anyway?
Still stayed away from it.
Don't trust it.
Nope.
Whatever it is, nothing here
curious.
is supposed to be here, so.
I'm curious what would happen if I start flying back up. If I can then see Dune and Rando again, and then float back down and end up somewhere else, and if I just keep bouncing. But I don't
Eventually
know.
you'll teleport back to where you want to be.
Well, eventually I want to help everyone get back together, but I'm just, I'm not sure how effective being leaves will do that. For now, I'll just keep
Okay,
flying.
so when Booga went up, did they disappear to us?
So, at first you could see them. And then, basically, when they tried to descend, then they disappeared.
So, I think that this particular area of reality is a little smaller than perhaps it would be.
Boris, you are also currently in the spirit world.
Yes, okay.
Again, you didn't cross a gauntlet, but this is a wound and everything's broken and awful.
So, this particular area of reality, I don't think we're going to be able to get out through a gate despite your best efforts, and I have to say I don't think it's much wider than perhaps this street and not any of the buildings besides. So,
Sungrazer, I will grant you another thing that you noticed from your bird's eye view. You can tell there's a few floors above you and below you. But in the middle of this floor, there is... It looks like... maybe like a bomb crater? Maybe the size of... maybe like half the size of Washington Square Park? Actually, no. It's the size of Washington Square Park because I know you've been there, so you know how big it is. About city block wide. Bomb crate? You know some things about that, and it's like, the shape is similar, but it seems off. But it looks just blackened and gross and awful. And there's just masses and there's some movement, because there was an angle with some of the buildings, but it's like, you have a distinct impression that there's something very bad there. And Dune and Rando are within a couple blocks of it.
But not Officer Borkbork.
No, you and Officer Borkbork are now a couple blocks further back, but like then a few blocks that way, and it's just, oh, you're gonna have such a headache from this.
with enough caffeine, any headache can be defeated.
That might be why he drinks so much, or they drink so much. With that, it's about 4 minutes to break, but I think this is a good time to take a break. And players, feel free to strategize while we are on break and come up with ideas. So chat, this is where we take a 10-minute quick bio break. So while we're doing that, feel free to, pause, get a drink, make some ramen, make some delicious, delicious ramen.
Don't choke on the ramen.
Don't choke on the ramen.
I'm pretty sure Officer Borkbork already has his paws.
And he's gonna give those paws to some fire rats if they get any closer.
Yep, pretty much.
Ooh.
No offense to Klaus or Petruchio, but I will drop them if I have to.
I mean, you are kind of genetically designed to fight rat monsters.
Yep.
But hashtag Forsaken Life. All right, so chat, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Bye. Hello, chat. We are back to torture my players some more because I forgot someone's Kuruth check for fighting wound spirits, or rather, them fighting him. Whoops. So yes, let me bring up those nice rules. So yes, Boris was attacked by wound spirits. Let me just take a look at what you need to roll. So I guess you're going into Basuim.
Yes.
Or it's to see if you go into Basuim.
Right.
Forsaken in your weird words, which are hopefully not stolen from any real languages, and I'm not just doing a cultural appropriation by accident. Okay.
So it's
Stats
basically
on is on 103.
it's a resolve composure roll to see if I go into from Wasuim to Basuim.
Yeah, and you it looks like you only need one success.
Yep.
We currently have 18 plus ones in the pool.
I'm gonna go risky, go big or go home, not use a +1 right now.
Oh,
So
goodness. Okay.
famous last words. Oh, that was a clean 10.
Yay! Okay, yeah.
Nice.
With an 8 after that, so that's 18 and 6 is
24.
Awesome. So that is 6 successes.
Congratulations, you are not a hulking death machine.
Yet.
I mean, you are, but you're not a
Well,
raging
no,
hulking death
he
machine.
is a hulking death machine. He's just not a raging hulking death machine.
Congratulations, by the skin of your fangs, you have managed to maintain control over yourself, a hulking death machine.
However,
Just skin
because
on my fangs.
you're not in death rage, you do have wound penalties to think about.
Yes.
Okay, I will just leave that open because I have a feeling it's gonna come up again. Just have that feeling. Okay, players. So yes, Boris. And it just usually just attacking. Kuruth feels a lot closer than usual, probably because you're in a wound.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wrong, and it's making all the spiritual stuff go hibby-jibby, and it's fucking weird. And there's puff of leaves, and you don't know what that's about. It hasn't attacked you yet, so fine. Okay.
I fully expect it to, at some point.
I'm gonna attempt to do some non-verbal arboreal communication here.
Can you just form yourself into like words?
I
That would be really funny.
Okay, can we just address for a second that you want to arboreally communicate with a hulking death machine werewolf and expect it to work and communicate clearly? Like
Listen,
that. I just want to draw attention to that.
This
You know,
is
it's when
a
you-
situation where we have limited options. Okay?
It's when you examine the logic of it that it stops working, so quit it. Stop that.
Like, you don't ask the millipede how it moves its feet. Because if it thinks about it, it can't.
You just gotta leap's gotta leap. I'll form myself into a giant arrow and hope that this thing understands that.
The thing carrying two of your ally. Well, your ally and your boss, the guy who
Yeah.
signs your paychecks.
My friend and wallet.
Meanwhile, Dune and Rando. So you saw your friend turn into a puff of leaves, go up, and then you got a sense that it was starting to come back down, and then it disappeared, which is unsettling.
So, I don't confess to be very familiar with how changelings work, but I suppose the leaf business is just something they can do.
You-
I'm asking the other changeling standing right there.
I don't know anything about the outwork.
So you hear something that starts as familiar, because it sounds like.
Okay, when I hear that, I'm gonna tell Dune, I'm not leaving, but you're not gonna be able to see me, so don't go anywhere. I activate Whispers of the Morning, and I'm just going to find a lawn chair or a bench to sit on while I wait for Sungrazer to show back up.
What do you think? Yetney's just gone.
What does that contract do?
It makes me invisible and intangible,
Oh, okay, so okay,
but it
so
also puts me on a separate wavelength to spirit, so I can't see them and they can't see me. So, but because Puka's got the Helldiver ability, he can eventually find me and see me and interact with me. So I'm just going to find a nice place to sit and wait here where I'm not going to get jumped by spirits. And I
Okay.
figured Dune's tough enough that Dune should be able to figure out how to handle the spirit business. It's their nonsense anyway.
So
Well, shit.
it sounds like it's coming from a larger creature than the ones you have seen make this noise. And you hear a schlumph, kind of the sound of something sliming over concrete. And you see what reminds you of a jellycat, but is about the size of a VW bug, and is this kind of disturbing dark purplish red, almost like congealed dark blood.
Can I tell that we're in the real world, yeah? At this point in time, in this little shaky, okay.
You're still in the real world. However, spirits can cross over when they're strong enough, and if there's no gauntlet, well, they can go in and out just like y'all can.
Save it for Sungrazer.
And so this cat blob is inching towards you, not super fast.
Good, kitty. I know one of your kind back on the ship. Or at least one of your, what the fuck is the word? This is an animal spirit. I was just looking at the word for earlier, but I don't remember it right this
Domesticated?
Huh?
Domesticated?
No. There's like a word for animal spirits.
Oh, okay.
I think that whatever this thing is, domesticated clearly ain't it.
Yeah.
So,
Before this thing
Dune,
can be Dune, please tell me I found a folding lawn chair.
Dune, I need you to roll resolve plus composure. I forget, do Wolfbloods get a power stat like primal urge or anything?
Nope.
No.
We have
okay.
no power stat.
So,
Or at least we don't have a power stat if we're set up like I am, which is very physical. I'm not sure if the
spirit ones. Okay.
spirit ones have any kind of power stats.
So just roll resolve composure.
Okay.
What does this guy roll? I just had it up. Where did it go?
Okay, that's 16.
Okay. Write that down because I will forget the number, and that is always embarrassing for me. Where is the stat block? I just wrote a stat block. Okay, so I'm gonna say the Jellycat blob rolls higher. So they use a Numina on you. Dune, as you're trying to regard this Jellycat, trying to reason with it, because you've worked with Jellycats before, they can sort of be reasoned with for small gelatinous beasts. This one just gives out this long, low and you feel this wave of misery just flow over you and your very being. And it just infects you to your core. Hirano isn't a thing in NWoD, but you just feel at the core of your being, we are never going to, even as a wolf blood, it is not technically your job, but you understand that the point of the Aratha is to protect humanity from the spirit world. And to be the wolves, guarding the fence. And just suddenly all of that just seems utterly pointless and unachievable. And you have to take basically get NWoD, Hirano. You suffer a -2 penalty to all actions. for a bit. But just... And this blob doesn't attack you, it just sits there like a depressed blob. Blah, and you just... You go into Marvin mode. I'd like you to know I'm really rather depressed. And just...
I want you to know that I'm getting very depressed.
Rando, you're a social stat monkey, so you just see Dune's body language change as he's trying to talk to this jellycat, and then the jellycat makes that awful noise, and Dune just sort of deflates.
Slumps in defeat, yeah.
Slumps. Like, still standing up. Not powerless, but just you see the vibe change.
Hmm.
But, you know, you're intangible, so whatever.
I'm gonna... So the cat also looks miserable, I say, as a person who is very familiar with jellycats.
This looks like a really sad jellycat.
I
But
will...
you can also feel, because of the misery effect, it's safe to say that this cat is also sad.
I will go over and I will go... It do be like that.
It does not seem to attack Dune, but yeah, Dune, you're gonna continue having that -2 for a bit in proximity to sad cat. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Boris, you are still running from fire rats. Sungrazer has turned into an arrow.
Never seen leaves do that before. But I have no better options, so I guess I'll kind of go the direction that the leaves are pointing while still giving them a wide enough berth.
The leaves briefly turn into a thumbs up, then back into an arrow.
I am in emoji form. Huzzah!
Why am I just getting the sardine sense from Finding Nemo?
The emo genie.
Yes.
I remember the sardines.
Yep.
They
Blah blah blah, me me blah 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 me me me.
I remember now.
You want to go in that direction.
Yep. Oh, when you come to this trench, swim through it, not over it.
Someone bought a GM +1 and a player +1.
Shotgun splicer, thank you very much.
Splicer.
Shotgun splicer. Hello.
Splicers. No.
So thank Fadier, I believe it was Fadier, for the black cherry jellycat.
Yes, it was Fadier.
Yes.
Imagine it's like trying to pet a giant jello mold. It's like...
While resisting the urge to eat it.
I mean, Dune is the favorite of Jellycat on the ship. So Dune is familiar with how to pet a Jellycat.
Meanwhile, Boris got a crash course in how not to treat a jellycat.
Yeah.
Hold on, I am writing down my notes. Okay. So meanwhile, so yeah, Sungrazer and Boris are... Yeah, Sungrazer, you have a recollection of where Dune and Rando should be. Whether or not you can get there easily remains to be seen.
Gonna keep trying. Got no other...
Not
many options.
Again, now that you can see the burb more closely, the black burb sitting on the wolf monster's head has kind of got like an electronic eye and like a headband on, so it's a little cyborg.
That just made my night. I mean, this has been lovely and all, but that made my night.
Puns! Not Puna. What? I can't type. Anyway.
Puna Matata. No.
Okay, so Cyborg just like cocks its head and is like, this burb looks more intelligent than a regular burb, but this, yeah, okay. You're a changeling. Things are not always what they seem.
Just to confirm, the burb is not what Dune sent a bat.
Dune sent a bat.
Okay, right.
A little bat spirit.
Right.
The last of 3 that he brought from Eden.
And the bat spirit was like very small.
And also extremely screechy.
Yes, very screechy. Cyburb has been a bit screechy because he's being jostled by a running werewolf monster. But otherwise doesn't seem to be attacking anyone, which is interesting. So yeah. Sungrazer, at this point with what's left of your direction sense, you can kind of plot out where you've seen attacking creatures come from. And you're definitely getting a sense that, you know, you all have all been shoved every which way and going all over, but these attacking entities seem to be coming from that central point you saw that looked like a bomb crater.
On the edge of which Dune and Rando are sitting.
A couple blocks away, yeah.
Great.
Not right on the edge.
Yeah, but too close for much comfort.
I'm in danger. Yeah.
Rando sitting there sipping what would, you know, a Mai Tai or whatever, just going, yep, just waiting for it.
Eating chips, watching this jelly cat the size of the Volkswagen get ready to eat Dune.
Intangible chips.
And, yeah, they're the best kind.
No
Could
calories.
be called intangibles.
Low sodium.
All the flavor, none of the calories.
Intangible.
Okay. So while so Sungrazer and Boris, you are running. Well, Sungrazer is floating. Boris, you are running.
Mm-hmm.
And you basically run into another humanoid.
Oh.
Is Yathal wearing a trench coat?
No.
Damn.
Sadly, no. You run into a humanoid that... How do I describe this? At first you think another werewolf, because it looks like another Garu form.
Oh.
One that has crossed itself with a whole lot of techie stuff. So cyborg, you know, another electric eye, a whole cybernetic arm, a cybernetic leg. Some of its flesh has been ripped away, showing more circuitry underneath. But then you're like, wait, no, that's not what that's supposed to look like. Wolfie Sense says that this is not a Garu, this is another spirit.
Oh.
And it just looks, its fur is matted with blood, and its cybernetic parts are sparking, and you are not a happy wolf.
No.
Because this is a mockery of your whole the people thing, and yikes, it's all very... You're feeling about as disturbed as Sungrazer was when they saw all the changeling zombies.
Gotcha.
But you're pretty sure this is a spirit,
Well,
not
they
an
were-
actual undead werewolf. Well, it's hard to tell right now, you're in a wound.
No.
But you don't detect any flesh here, only spirit that looks like flesh.
Well, then Klaus and Petrucci are getting put down, or
Boomf.
dropped unceremoniously, and I'm lunging at this thing.
Okay. Let me see what this guy has for... You know, let's just make this a battle. Okay, so, it did not attack first, but so you just attack. What is your roll to attack? Oh, wait.
All right,
1d10. 1d10.
Yep.
Don't be
And
that, GM.
what do I add for that? I do have brawl.
Yeah, I'd say strength brawl.
Okay, strength brawl.
Plus,
All right, so
check your sheet in the Garu column to see if it gives you any additional bonuses.
Right. Okay, it does. Yep. So that's That's 14 to attack.
Okay. It only rolls a 5. So yeah, so Boris, you bump into this abomination and you just wham, and it sort of just dissolves into blood and guts. But because it's a spirit, it doesn't smell like blood and guts, which is just like, well, who are you even kidding, you asshole? And yeah.
Really?
Meanwhile,
No satisfaction.
the rats have caught up.
Oh, now I have another enemy to attack. I'm done running.
They rolled better. Good rats. So roll, athletics, dex athletics to not get bit by fire rats again.
Oh, yay. At least my dex is 3 now instead of 2. Oh, that's only a 4. Shit.
Oh, no. Well, they rolled a 13.
Ow!
What was your total roll?
That was the total roll.
What did you roll,
4.
a 1?
No, I rolled a 2.
Oh.
Because I get a minus because I don't have athletics.
How many health levels do you have right now?
I have 5 left. After the 4 they took from me before.
Oh, so 13 minutes. Oh.
Wait, I'm unconscious? I'm playing like I usually do?
In Garu form, you got your ass knocked out. What kind of fucking werewolf are you?
By fire rats, no
He's
less.
an Araka! I'm the sneaky sneak guy, not the fighty fight guy!
I'm a sneaker, not a fighter.
Then why weren't you sneaking away from the rats?
Because they came on me when I was trying to help Petruchio and Klaus.
You can
You're
still
10 foot of mean.
It's the only way I could pick them up.
How many health boxes do you have in Garu form? Because that should go up a lot.
It's just like, you're 10 feet tall. Ish.
Garo form, I get an extra 4, so that means I have 9 left instead of the 5.
Okay, I'm like, 5 doesn't sound right. This is werewolf we're talking about.
I always miss the small print there. It's right there under health, and I ignored it.
Okay, so, and you rolled a 5? You rolled a 4?
I rolled a 4 total, yep.
Rolled a 4. Alright, so you're down to your last health box.
Alright.
And they're all filled up with ag, and this is what the fuck. And so, Sungrazer, you see Boris has dropped your buddies to do a one-hit kill on this spirit and then get punked by a whole pile of flaming rats.
Boris, I'm just gonna say this. If your Garu ass has to be rescued by a flying pile of leaves, they are never gonna stop laughing about this shit around the Wolfie campfire. Like,
yeah.
Never.
Yeah, well aware. This is one of those things we do not talk about.
Tempto, I did explain how renown works. Like, this is not how renown works.
This is the opposite
This is
of
the
renown.
opposite of how you get renown.
This is Nwanner.
If you were in a pack, you might be losing renown.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So Sungrazer, your giant werewolf buddy looks extra crispy and is being swarmed by rats. However, they are not attacking your 2 unconscious friends, because, well, werewolf is way tastier when you're a spirit.
Can you cut back to the other 2 while I figure out how to rescue him?
Okay. Well, there's not much. So back with Dune and Rando. I dare say you hear a wolfy howl of rage, and then it abruptly stops somewhere.
I'm kind of, half leaning, half, standing against this cat going, we're in it now. Basically doing that thing where you're two drunk dudes at the bar who are just depressed as all shit are comforting each other almost, except neither of them are really drunk at this point. But
I'm waiting for you to just sink into Jellycat.
Huh?
I'm just waiting for you to sink into Jellycat as it decides to just let you in and dissolve you while you're sharing this
That's
code.
the other thing is that as a physical part of wolf blood, I don't have what makes me tasty to spirits that the one werewolf does.
That doesn't mean he's not going to eat you.
Fair.
He's a jellycat, and he seems to be in a bad mood. And he's the size.
But once I hear the howl and cut off, like, you know, I haven't been on many failed hunts, but I know the sound of wolf in trouble when I hear it.
Yeah. When a howl is cut off abruptly, that's bad.
I'll push off the jellycat, give it one last pat.
You're also infused with misery, so you're not sure that there's anything you can do to help.
I mean,
I'm not sure there's anything I can do to help, but I'm also not sure that if I don't go to help, this isn't one of the werewolves who will, you know, take it unkindly later. Because the other thing I know about werewolves is they are in fact tough as shit. So while he is a crispy critter, I don't know how crispy he is. And, you know, I've seen enough werewolves stand back up from shit, even if after they've gone down, that, you know,
well, you don't see
the chances of him coming back later are pretty decent in my mind. Like, it's futile, but
okay, so what are you doing?
Basically I'm justifying going and helping because because Dune is afraid that Boris is one of those werewolves who will punish.
You don't know that that's Boris. You know that there are supposedly werewolves hopefully coming to help you because you sent them a bat mail.
Right. And if they're in trouble, we do kind of owe them to go and...
You sent them you sent them an email!
was it a black bat mail?
Oh.
So, okay.
Still, that's, you know, going and helping, and, you know, with a werewolf, Dune has, you know, most of Dune's experience with hunts is that if you're on a hunt and, you know, one of the wolf bloods doesn't come through and help, that wolf blood is usually, you know, not exactly a happy camper later.
All right, so you head towards the howl.
Cut off howl.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of assuming that if I don't, it will shake out badly for me later, because it's that kind of mindset.
Roll wits composure.
Wits composure, okay.
I'm also going to go, but I'm hoping that since I'm in that pocket realm, pocket dimension, that whatever's affecting physics is not going to affect me.
12.
12. Let me...
This is a perception check?
I'm gonna say this is for Dune first, and then unless you were trying to run ahead of Dune.
Oh no.
Yeah, then.
I'll let Dune walk into this first.
Yeah. So, Dune, what did you roll?
I rolled 12.
Okay. So,
also, I did give the jellycat one last pat and, you know, kind of like, you know, commiseration before I left.
You're still running slower than you would otherwise, but yeah. Oh, but you take a -2 penalty. Okay, you still make it, because you were still infused with misery. So you still see so you turn a corner, you are suddenly back in the spirit world, and you stop just short of the giant spider web that has been spun between buildings. About 4 stories up, you see a giant spider the size of a VW bug. It has seen you, and it is starting to crawl down. Rando, when you see Dune stop short, you also stop and see all the things.
Huh.
All right. I am going to...
And the spider opens up its pincer jaw, but it just splits its face down the middle with just rows and rows of teeth. And it looks hungry.
I'm going to take my knife and I am going to cut the nearest anchor points of the web because they are under tension, and when they do, they will spring back because spider web is actually fairly tensile.
So let me rephrase this. The spider web is hung between buildings,
Mm-hmm.
between 10-story buildings.
So, but you said
the ones...
I stopped like it was
Yes.
the whole 10 stories up.
Yes, it goes
So
10
I'm saying
stories up, flat, vertically.
Yes, if I cut the bottom ones, they'll spring back into the form of the rest of it.
It might go up a bit. It'll give you purchase enough to go under it, but it's not gonna snap. Cutting 2 anchor points when there are about 30 anchor points is not going to cause the web to fold over the giant spider.
Right. No, that wasn't what I was trying to do. I was trying to, because I'm assuming that it's coming down the web.
Yeah. I said
my point was to make it, have it spring back far enough that it won't get all the way to the bottom. To us on the web, it'll have to either jump off or do something else, and also give us a chance to go under.
I'd say you have a better chance of going under, but that should be enough.
All right.
Do that.
Is web made of spirit stuff?
How should you know? You're in Twilight.
Well, then I don't see it. If it's a spirit, I don't see it because we can't see each other.
Oh, okay. So in that case, Dune stopped short, and you have no idea what's happening.
Then I will continue on past because I'm not on the same plane as spiritual matter.
Okay.
What do I got to roll to get under the web, essentially?
Dex athletics.
Okay.
I like how you told Dune, you won't be able to see me, so stay right here. And then once Dune started leaving, you immediately also left.
I can't leave Dune by themselves, as evidenced by the spiders of Volkswagen.
Which you don't know is there.
Correct. But Dune knows it's there, and that's good enough.
Dex. Athletics.
Besides, I'm hoping that the geospatial reality of warping thing does not affect me because I'm not in the spirit realm.
So that's 16 minus 2 is 14?
Yes. So yes, I'll say you can get under. And spiders aren't supposed to roar, but this one does. Just this spider that just seems to almost exude shadows and darkness.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
Yes, taunt the spider. Please taunt the spider more.
What spider? Rando, you see nothing.
So basically, what you see as you go through where this web would be is Dune stops. Dune makes a slicing motion with his knife, ducks under something that clearly isn't there to you, and then I don't know if the roar makes enough wind to flutter Dune's coat or whatever, but he just says, go fuck yourself to himself.
Note to self: psych eval for Dune.
Your changeling could talk.
Oh yeah, the changeling wants to give me a psych eval.
No, I said you need a psych eval. I took class to therapy. I don't want to hear about everybody else's failures of mental health.
I will continue on my way because the spider clearly has nothing important to me.
All right. Sungrazer and Boris, back to you versus the fire rats.
Okay.
How close is Dune within visual range yet, or?
How high up are you?
Well, a few stories up, let's say.
I dare say the buildings are about 10 stories high here, so kind of short for an inner city, for a undercity, but okay. This is 2,000 years ago.
I'm getting ready to come back to Earth to defend Boris, so.
Okay.
Defend Boris's honor.
Seeing Dune from here is difficult.
Okay.
And
Dune,
you wouldn't be able to see Rando anyway, so.
Right. Dune will not be here within a turn or two.
You were also Dune, also, as I believe, did I mention, as you almost walked into the spiderweb, you are now in the spirit world?
Yes, you did.
Rando is somewhere. You don't know. Rando, all this looks the same to you because you're in Twilight. Because of thanks, Onyx Path. Fuck you, Onyx Path. No, not fuck, but really? Really, Onyx Path?
It's fine.
Allegedly, it's fine.
Allegedly.
This is fine.
This is fine.
This is probably the tagline of Romp Through Ravnica. This is probably fine. Alright, so, Sungrazer, are you going to try to do anything to help Boris?
I think I
Or
must.
help the wolf dude thing?
Since I'm probably running out of leaf time anyway, how far back behind Boris do the rats extend? Like, how much ground do they cover?
They're fairly amorphous, so I would say, if you were to squish them all together, they would be about the same mass as the wolf monster, so not
an
very
area-
far. Like maybe
it's an
like
area thing.
maybe a couple feet.
Oh, okay. I have a thing that extends 20 yards that I want to use. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, I mean, they're within 20 yards.
Essentially, I want to come down to the ground out of leaf form and use a different contract close enough to affect them without harming Boris. Although Boris wouldn't really be harmed, probably. So.
Okay. If you want me to,
I like the probably modifier on that.
Yeah.
if you want a rules judgment, just give me the page number once I bring up the Changeling book.
All right. Let me find the page because I
Yeah.
have it on a separate sheet. So essentially, the cloud of leaves floods back down to Earth and reassembles itself into Sungrazer's form. And Sungrazer shouts viciously, "Get your damn paws off him, you fucking rats!" Elemental.
You filthy animals.
This is page 149 of the core book.
Okay. What is it called?
Elemental Fury, which allows me
Ah.
to inflict one environmental tilt and do bashing damage. And I'm going to use Flooded because they are fire rats.
Ah. Okay. Elemental Fury. Okay. Is there a... Okay. So they don't get a save, basically.
Yeah, it's just there's a flood there now, and it is flooded.
Okay. Okay. Trying to figure... What? Computer. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Shut. Are we still streaming? Yes. Okay. I've been ignoring tilts, so let me see.
If you want the page number for the tilt, it is 329.
Torrent's presence?
Which I think for me is a 2.
Okay, so they mean your presence stat.
Yeah.
Okay, so it deals as much bashing damage as your presence stat. Okay. Annoyingly, the flood of water doesn't seem to be, and it's a flood of water?
I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Annoying.
just it's flooded
the
with whatever liquid would be
Okay.
appropriate.
The flood isn't squelching the isn't dousing the flames, but it is, kind of shoving the rats back and forth, and they are taking some damage as a mass, and they're not happy. But I will say that it gets them off Boris.
If I wanted them to be happy, I would have given them treats or something.
Well, they had a treat.
Wow.
They had
Right?
a wolfy treat.
Crispy wolf.
Yum yum. Ah.
Eaten alive by rats. What a way to go.
Okay.
Fire rats. So you'd be a real crispy critter.
Yes.
Boris, you are free of the rats. Oh, actually, I think at this, Boris and Dune have to make me rage checks, because you each kind of ran into things which I forgot to do before. In your case, Dune, it was actually a jellycat. Ironically, because it cast misery on you, but you were attacked by a wound spirit.
Okay.
But Rando's on another plane, and Sungrazer wasn't attacked first. So.
Okay. So that's what?
So make me a morality check.
So that's what?
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I don't get doing you make these odds up and it's changelings or anybody else.
Right?
For werewolves,
Resolve composure, right?
oh well, you're doing a Kuruth check.
Right, yeah.
Right. Am I also doing a curious check or am I doing a morality check? Because the two are different.
Yes.
All right, I got an 11 for my check.
Okay. In which case, Boris, I also need you to make a harmony check.
Okay.
So, well,
I'll make a morality check.
Dune's morality check, yeah. I will look it
So-
up. I have it somewhere. I wrote it down.
So I roll the number of dice equal to my dots and try and get more successes than failures.
Yes.
Okay. And success is an 8, 9, or 10, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
1.
And what do I need to do for harmony checks?
Bringing up the documents. Because I have all of the morality rolls in a document. Which I should have had up, because they're in a freaking wound, and I just should have opened that before we started.
Or 4 successes, no failures.
Awesome.
Or at least no critical failures.
Dune, again, you feel that just something drawing all of the vice out of you and trying to make you into a bad wolf. And you are like, no, I'm a good wolf.
So basically, I felt the rage flare, and then the spell hit, and it's like, oh, it's all useless anyway.
Yeah.
Then I heard a wolf hound one like, oh, better go pull his chestnuts out of the fire, or my chestnuts will be in the fire later.
Degeneration notes. Here we go. And morality charts. Here we go. Wolfie Wolf. Oh, god damn it. I didn't write down the werewolf ones because we didn't have a werewolf yet. Okay. I am failing my GM prep check retroactively. But I have the Forsaken book up. Harmony! I was already on that page. Oh, but they're harmonies. Okay, just roll as many dice as you have harmony and make more successes than failures.
Okay, fair enough.
Because they also redid harmony to be weird in second ed, and it's just weird. Just no.
Yeah, I noticed that. And I was like, nope, that's not how we're doing harmony. And is it the same with Dune? So success is 8, 9, or 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
8, 9, 10. Go with that.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 3 successes, and then the rest are 7 and below.
Okay, did you roll any ones?
Nope, no ones.
Okay, then you again feel like something is trying to fuck up your inner harmony, and you were able to fight it off. But you feel gross.
Oh, shit.
Alright. Dune and Rando. Well, Dune, because you don't know where Rando is. What do you run into now? Dune, you are definitely getting a sense that from not the direction you're walking in, time and space are funky here. You get a sense that there are more things coming closer to you. Or at least approaching the point where you think you were. Maybe.
Good vibrations or bad vibrations?
Bad.
I will increase my pace towards where I think the wolf howl was.
You get a sense that that jelly cat is probably in danger.
I can't do anything about it, and I don't know that it would do anything about it.
True. Good point. Totally valid. Spirits are bastards.
But no, I'm like if I am behaving like Marvin now and the Jellycat was projecting that onto me, like, you know, Fadier, there's nothing I can do to save the Jellycat, and the Jellycat will not first save itself. Actually, honestly, I'm not sure there's anything I can do to save a Volkswagen bus-sized Jellycat anyway. What am I gonna do? Pick it up and put it in my goddamn pocket?
I have a feeling that Fadier has some NPCs in their pocket waiting just in case we don't save the Jellycat.
Give that Jellycat some religious tracts.
Okay, so Dune, you remember that you have also seen one of those techno corvids.
Before.
So at first, you almost feel the misery sort of offset itself because you see a big black bird flying towards you. But then you notice that, have you ever seen the stuffed animal of the Monty Python bunny? Where it splits open in half and it's all mouth? The black bird
but
does
I remember the Fizzgig puppet.
Yes.
Where it just did and then it went, ah!
A big black bird starts flying towards you. And at first you think it's that kind of, but no, it basically splits up the middle halfway like this and just rows of teeth inside. Rando, you see nothing.
I remember the bird that attacked us when we were by the hospital grocery station. So I will actually take another knife out of my pocket and throw it at the bird.
Okay.
I'm gonna moonwalk down the street, so I have nothing better to do.
Doop-a-doo.
Aiming for the breadbasket.
How are the rats doing? I might have another tilt to inflict. This will be good.
The rats are looking pretty fucked up. You're pretty sure you don't have to hit them too hard.
I would like to follow up on my earlier.
Okay, well, first we'll do Dune's thing.
Okay.
I'm more or less doing loose version of rounds here.
That's I mean, yeah.
Okay.
So Dune, what is your attack? I guess throwing would be athletics or rep.
Yes, I have a specialty in thrown weapons.
Okay, fine, do that. Throwing weapons is almost, in games I've been a player in, throwing weapons is almost as big a point of contention as grappling rules. So if you just took a skill spec, use that. That.
Skill spec. Thrown weapons. Technically, I did this because I kept throwing grenades, but I figured.
Okay, the Hungry Crow rolled a 1, so yes, it's another one-hit kill.
And 14, yeah.
But that knife disappears. Just sort of goes.
That's why I pulled one out of my coat, because it was one of the throwing knives I have.
Awesome.
Instead of the two I was wielding, it was not. It was just, you know, your regular little balanced iron throwing knife. You know, basic polycarbonate future tech throwing knife.
Yep, because future stuff. Okay. Back to.
Listen, Fadier. You are responsible for putting an animal in a place where it is not meant to be. This is why we don't transplant, you know. This is like bring over the Asian spotted lanternfly, whatever. That flourished, but if you took like the Madagascar millipede that looks like an isopod, they don't eat off Madagascar. So you take off the island and they die. You know, it's like it's putting a snowball in hell.
When the GM has actively stated, I'm turning all your NPCs into weird Magaths, like...
Yeah,
it's gonna get weird. Like...
If you wanted it to become if you wanted it to become like a pet on the ship, shouldn't have put it in The evil hellscape.
Yeah, this was maybe not the best time to introduce something you want them to keep in their pet quest.
Like,
You put a
Zardoz
floof
was
in,
right.
it's gonna be an evil floof.
Can we?
Yeah, Zardoz was right. It would absolutely have eaten me if it hadn't been so fucking depressed.
Can we keep the cyberb?
Well,
The cyberwolf is
Well-
in pieces.
well, no,
No,
he's
no,
at-
the cyberb. The cyberb.
Oh,
Well, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, we'll see if we get to that point. Sungrazer, Team Rat, what are you doing?
So looking at all these rats, I would like to continue to get them off of Officer Bork's case.
Yeah, the water doesn't seem to be working as the bane you hoped it would be, but it is just racking them back, and they're just not doing great.
In which case,
that's Rat.
I'm going to call upon my elemental fury once again, gathering myself and reciting very solemnly. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. This place I see that draws my ire. It seems its creatures favor fire. So let us have it perish twice and consign it to its fate. I summon for destruction ice, which is also great, and will suffice. Also, fuck you, rats, and I'm gonna flame the ground down.
Very nice.
I love it. That's
This
amazing.
is the thing about NWoD Changeling. People who don't like bunking are generally the people who just aren't good at it. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, so yeah, how so you do them 2 damage. So what does it look like?
I'm spending a glamour to summon 2 tilts this time.
Oh, okay.
So
We'll say that does 4 damage then.
right on. So one is a layer of ice. So I guess the water essentially freezes solid, and also heavy winds to buffet them into frozen positions. I guess something. Just a big blast of Arcticness.
So the water suddenly freezes into solid ice, and then the wind knocks it over, and it just shatters into lots of pieces of frozen rats.
That works perfectly.
Awesome.
Like T-1000.
Also, this is the first breath of fresh air you felt in this entire time.
No, it doesn't smell that fresh, unfortunately. It's a buffet of hot wind.
But still the first buffet of wind, straight up, that you felt.
Even then, even with the water flood, you saw it starting to, like, steam up. Like it was warmer than it feels like it, but spirit bullshit world, okay.
It probably smells like the first solid breeze of autumn over a freshly restocked landfill.
Okay.
Just that fetid hellscape aroma.
Okay.
Being...
Boris, the rats have stopped chomping on you. You have 8 ag and 9 health boxes. What do you do next?
Okay, so I'm all right now. There's no rats on me. They're not attacking anymore.
Yes.
And the whole swarm of them is pretty much gone.
Yep.
Okay. That I'm leaving. I'm gonna leave Geru form and go into Deru form,
Yay.
which is the near human one.
Oh,
Dalu.
so what are the rules on when you lose health boxes that are full of ag damage?
That's a good question. Maybe I
Yeah, you
shouldn't do
should.
that.
How about I go back over to the other 2 while you
Okay.
look up those rules?
Yes.
Because slashing, lethal and bashing damage, you know, you're a werewolf. Those go away every round.
Yep.
But not ag.
Yep. Fair enough.
So please look that up while I torture Dune some more. Sorry, Dune. But your buddy went into semi-twilight and is, yeah. Do we
Has
have
Rando caught up with us yet?
Rando, have you ditched Dune?
I mean, I'm not experiencing the things that are keeping me from moving like Dune is. So I am not noticing the giant screeching birds or the death spider or the web, so I probably would have gone forward.
Okay.
But trusting Dune to catch up eventually.
Okay.
I am more concerned about the people who are not in my line of sight than the person who was 5 minutes ago.
So Dune is no longer in your line of sight.
Probably not. Unless we're all on the same long ass street, in which case, maybe.
Not quite yet. Okay, what have I got? Roll other numbers. I've already done these numbers. Okay. Dune, you're continuing along. You just, got past the spider web. You killed a spirit burb. A hunger burb. And you have no idea where Rando is.
Oh, dudes in the spirit world, aren't they?
Yep.
Then I have no idea where they are either, because I can't see in the spirit world in this form.
Well, you also just weren't watching.
Ah.
So, you don't know. Because, splitting the party is a great idea when you're in a setting that reshuffles itself like a deck of cards whenever people separate.
I mean, Rando, could you only activate that contract in the real world, or could you do it in the spirit world as well?
I can activate it anywhere, I think.
So.
Okay.
I'd also like to point out now for the record that that was not a jellycat. That was a spirit in the form of a jellycat. Or a whatever you call it. Animal spirit.
Final say.
There is an animal, a class of spirits that are derived from animals. Animistically. I should probably look at it again. Anyway.
I'm striving for a pun, but nothing is coming. Nothing's happening.
Okay. Hold on. Someone just bought another NPC.
Yes.
Woohoo! Okay. So, Dune, you are marching along your miserable way. As you still have the sad. Where from behind you hear another roar, and then that quickly stops, and you hear the sound of, you're not sure if tearing flesh is quite the right word. You get the distinct impression that jellycat got et by something.
Cool, I'm about to see a weird Magath of a jellycat and something else, probably. Given the size of that jellycat.
Luckily, there's this giant spider web between you and it. But maybe not. We'll see.
Spider jellycat abomination.
But then, rolling out of an alleyway, very slowly and ponderously, is something with a number of cat-like features in an orb shape, with one unblinking cat eye that is turning around, so the slit part of the eye is kind of going, and it's weird, it's staring at you. There are cat ears in strange places. There are cat paws and legs sticking out at weird angles. Asphadier just bought Cat Thulu. And
I saw.
You see a number of mouth-shaped holes open and go, and it starts rolling towards you. Onto its eye in some cases, which is spirit bullshit. This is about the size of a van.
one door definitely isn't going to work, and it does. All right.
I dare say, Boris and Sungrazer, you can hear the angry yowl of a giant cat-like thing.
I look down and say, how you living, Officer Borkle?
Apparently, barely.
He looks more like Officer Bork now. He still looks like a slightly wolfed out dude, but there's enough of Boris there that it does facially look like Boris with kind of more teeth and fur.
Okay.
Dude, how you doing?
So, to be clear, guns are not allowed on Lagoi.
They're outlawed.
They're outlawed, which meant I had to bring them in pieces essentially and reassemble them in the ship.
Yes.
And so I thought I was summoned here on, to meet hopefully with the pack and figure out why the hell, how to get them off Lagoi essentially ahead of the purge.
And you were cruelly tricked.
Yeah, I was tricked for my trustiness, but
shit happens. Spirits are evil. Well, these spirits are evil.
So, Jelly Cat, Cthulhu, things I would have brought, things I would not have brought. So I have a couple of knives. I definitely have throwing knives.
Oh, and tentacles that end in paws. It's weird.
Okay.
It's a Magath.
Unfortunately, the thing that I really have that I think will distract this sufficiently for me to escape, because I was definitely coming on friendly terms, I'm going to reach in to my trench coat and pull out a good half-liter bottle of moonshine. Awaken booze.
Okay.
I am going to unscrew the cap, slosh a little bit on the pavement, half screw the cap back on, and pitch it down the street. It's in one of those, newfangled. It's not a glass bottle, but so it won't break. But it may also leak some as it's going down because I only half screwed the cap back on. So what I'm hoping is that it will smell the essence in the booze and go after it, because that's what spirits want, not necessarily meat.
Okay. Roll me. Where's your character sheet?
Hope that it recognizes it as an offering and that you inadvertently become a disciple of Cthulhu.
Equally valid.
Roll me. Let's not make the roll. Oh wait, but you have a thrown weapon skill spec.
Yes, I have a thrown weapon skill spec.
So roll whatever you would roll for thrown weapon.
Okay.
And get a lot of successes.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to add 4 + 1s on this roll right now.
Okay.
Okay. So that is 9 plus. So that's 9 plus 12 is 21, minus 2 is 19.
Okay, that is a lot of good success. That is enough to to distract Cthulhu as it starts rolling mouths on the ground towards the essence of the spiritual entity that you used as a decoy.
You said once that it wasn't quite essence, it was close. I'm hoping that it smells enough like essence to,
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Rolling a 19, I say you succeed. Yes, Officer Bork.
It turns out that if I was to shift back out of Garu form right now, I would die because it's all ag damage. So I have to stay in Garu form for at least, I'm counting 3 weeks or 4 weeks until I'm back down into, unless I go seek medical attention somewhere.
Yeah. Let's.
I'm gonna have to.
First aid.
Because ag damage goes away at 1 point per week.
Yeah, even for werewolves.
Yes, werewolves.
Okay.
Blunt and slashing type damage is 1 per 15 minutes. Ag damage is 1 per week because of the type of damage it is.
Okay. Apparently they changed that in second ed too.
I have medicine as a skill.
All right.
Not a lot, but some.
Well, it's 10 p.m. So what I will say is, Dune, you walk down a street, at the end of which you see a Garu talking to a Sungrazer. And is anyone carrying the 2 unconscious bodies?
They're backed by the wolf cyborg thing.
Okay.
They're basically right there, honestly, because you dropped the wolf cyborg and the rats jumped on you
That's
immediately.
right.
Yeah,
They jumped on me. They jumped me from behind.
So they're right there. I was kind of afraid the rats were going to go after them.
Apparently, they like their prey moving.
Apparently.
So,
I will note that the bottle I threw was not my hip flask.
So Dune, you still have that terrible feeling that there are a lot of things crawling and creeping and scuttling and swooping out of your field of vision because of all the annoyingly tall buildings and dark shadows and alleys and all that. But you see your allies ahead of you. Well, all but Rando. Rando, you also see this.
You didn't see. Rando didn't see because Rando was not paying attention. Me throw booze for a cat. Or
It would have been you throwing booze randomly down the street after you poured some out on the ground. So
basically.
Taste of good booze.
So, Sungrazer and Boris, you see Dune approach. The party, well, Rando, you see Sungrazer and Boris as well.
Okay, how badly screwed up is Boris?
Boris looks really fucked up. Like, you've never seen... Well, actually, you don't... has Rando ever seen a werewolf in Garu form?
Oh yeah, I've seen them in combat units.
Okay, so yeah. So that might be Officer Borkbork. It might be another werewolf. But you know that, it's a werewolf. And it looks like it's not attacking Sungrazer, so it's probably there to help.
Cool.
But it also looks really fucked up with a whole lot of aggravated damage.
Before we close for the day, I'm going to do something neat and changeling neat.
Awesome.
I'm going to draw a representation of the monarch's mark on several pieces of paper. Then I'm going to use Vow of No Compromise on Bork as I'm destroying one of those pieces of paper to convert his aggravated damage into lethal. And then I'm going to do that 8 times so that he has 8 lethal damage instead of 8 aggravated damage.
Nice.
And because I'm destroying the paper, I get around that's the loophole for the contract, so I don't lose 8 willpower and 8 clamor, which I could, but I'd be pissed.
Okay.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's lethal is healed at 1 point per 2 days, so we're already getting easier.
One thing I will say, do you have to be not in your weirdo Twilight phase to do that?
Technically, as size 1, because I could use it to.
So you can see them, but I'll just tell you because you are doing a whole lot of things. The rest of the party is in the spirit world, so you can see them, but you're not sure your magic will be able to affect them while you are between phases.
Then I'll pop back into the spirit world if I can. Then I will unkill Bork.
Mm-hmm. Boris, Rando just pops into reality. Dune walks
there
over.
you are.
This is like, okay. Whatever.
I should have changed my face while I was doing it. That would have been much funnier.
Hi, new guy.
I really should. No, that's later.
Thank you for the player +1.
I mean, for another thing is that You change your face, but you don't really change your scent. Although you probably smell like,
Changeling.
I was actually going to say he's Nova Court. He smells like, probably.
Summer. Smells like
I was going to
heat.
say spiced rum and nuclear fusion. Nova.
I'll allow it. Okay.
That heavy ozone scent or whatever.
All right, so Rando pops into whatever reality you are all currently in, and starts tearing up a bunch of pieces of paper.
Okay, do you find Klaus?
I'm starting to bring Klaus up towards the rest of the group.
Okay.
Klaus is...
And Pachurikio looks like a corpse.
I'll pick him up too.
Whether or not that means he's dead, who knows? He's a vampire. Whatever. But we will get to them next week, in case they're here next game.
And their aggravated damage.
Yeah, they did take a bit. I just didn't calculate it yet, because they're not here.
I will turn that into lethal for both of them, because I'm not sure how much damage Klaus can take.
Bring that up. Make a note to do that at the beginning of next game.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'll keep my aggravated damage marked as aggravated until next game, so that way it'll be a little easier.
So y'all are together. Rando, Boris, you don't really know much about changeling magic, but you assume something happened, and your aggravated damage has turned into lethal damage, which means you can heal it much faster, and you're just relieved.
Still not super fast, but
yeah,
it's 2 days per point of lethal. So
in big wolf form.
In Garu form. Garu form, you get mega healing bonus. Like I think it's you. I think it's now you heal all of your lethal and bashing per round.
That you could be right.
Yeah. So.
See. Okay.
But so we'll get to that after. So because it's 10 p.m. and I said we'd end on time. So. The party is together again. Hooray! And just as you were all feeling slightly relieved that you were all in one place again, you hear another screeching scream from about 10 stories up. And you see what... You feel it before you see it. As again, I won't make you roll, but you feel your inner source of vice, that dark part of everyone who lives in the worlds of darkness, and you feel it call to you on that level with this just magnetic presence of evil. And you look up and you see something that is vaguely shaped like a centipede. But instead of having just legs, it has some insectoid legs, but also some that look like hands, and claws, and hooves. It has ram horns. It has big fangy teeth. It has some mouths that look like werewolf snouts. It is about the size of a tour bus.
Ah.
And it is staring right at you. And Rando, you feel on an instinctive level that because you tried to take over its territory, its territory.
Huh.
Boris, without making you roll, you have the both sinking and enraging sense that you are looking at a magelin.
And what is a mageling?
Very bad. And that's where we're going to end game today.
Okay.
You can look up what a magelin is in your werewolf book.
Yep.
Big bad thingy.
Why is it always centipedes? Like the third time we run into a centipede.
Have you run into centipedes before here?
Where there's the tap dancing one that we ran into in the.
That was the peacock.
That was a peacock.
No, not in the blighter cult. That was a
Oh
tap
no,
dancing.
in the hedge. That's right.
Yes. There was the
It
centipede.
was a caterpillar, I believe.
There was the multi-limbed thing that I punched in the face and destroyed Sungrazer's last suit in the hedge here.
Right, yeah, that giant metal thing that Dune put a hole in and then put a lighter in the hole.
Man, I have a monster type now, I guess. Whoops.
I mean, I'm okay with it. It's just it's just something you notice.
Well, I have bug fear, so if I'm gonna make something out of horror itself, it's gonna look like an insect. Anyway, chat, that's game. If you have no idea what's going on, watch our previous video and see the lead up to this hellscape. Monster type is more leggings! Yep. So yeah, I'm the GM and the channel producer and the Angry Kermit, and I do 95% of the work on this channel, and it's a lot, but it's fun. So, if you're talking to Magic Fish Radio on any sort of social media, you're talking to me. Join our Discord to talk to us directly, because I'm kind of bad at all the other social medias now. And so this has been Exit to Eden, A World of Darkness and Space. We run this game every other Saturday. On alternating Saturdays, we do indie game one-shots. If you are an indie game writer, developer, artist, contributor, or just fan and want to run a one-shot of an indie game on our stream, get in contact with us via social media or preferably Discord. And, you know, if you don't mind not getting paid, because unfortunately we have no money, then you can totally run a one-shot of your indie game here, and we'll play it, and it'll be a good time. Because I'm not going to go to a con ever again in the foreseeable future, and I need my new games fix. And
Last week we played Karabos. It was fun.
Yeah, Karabos is fun. One of our other go-tos is Demon Hunters, The Comedy of Terrors. Zardoz has run at least one of the games he's written. And yeah, so doesn't have to be your game. Could just be an indie game you really like. Because you want to run it for someone, and your friends are all like, there's only 2 stats in it, because your friends are sad. Are sad people who don't appreciate weird games. So yes, and personally, I do all the things here, and I'm also on a Thursday night game for the next few weeks called Romp Through Ravnica on We Are Nerdsmith on Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Where I play a lovable dumbass Tabaxi Barbarian. And it's kind of nice to be in combat and only have to worry about did I hit him with my axe once or twice? And did I do a teleport? Because barbarians are refreshingly fun, wow. I usually like playing spellcasters, but it's also nice to just not have to think about resource allocation during combat rounds.
Just kill it with your axe!
Ask him a few questions. The end.
Yeah, he had an accident.
So yeah, so that's me. Everyone else do outros while I look for someone to raid. Let's go well, everyone moved anyway, so let's go counterclockwise. Sungrazer, who are you when you're not a pile of leaves?
Pile of leaves shooting ice everywhere. When I'm not Sungrazer, I'm Puka. I'm Puka Gar on Discord and Twitch. Puka G on Storyteller's Vault, where I have tutorials. Be safe, and yeah.
Next, Rando.
For
Who
the
are
name.
you really?
I am Zardoz, at Once and Future Doctor on Twitter. I run duffel bag full of zombies press. I make role-playing games once in a while. I also review books every so often.
Officer Bork.
Hey, I am Tempto. I run Tempto 2099 here on Twitch, at Tempto9 on Twitter. Basically do a lot of video game playing, dabbling a little bit in painting Warhammer 40k figures on stream, and going to be working on building a new D&D adventure for my players on stream occasionally. So.
And Dune.
I'm Merc. I play Dun Wolfblood. I don't stream. My channel has nothing on it, basically. This is the only place I'm on stream for TTRPGs. On Thursdays, you can find me on the Zombie Orpheus Twitch channel playing board games for Zombie Orpheus Game Night most Thursdays. And then on Mondays, on the Zombie Orpheus Twitch channel, you should definitely watch the Reliables as they play through Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. They've got fun stuff going on there, and a bunch of improv people. We're all improv people, but they have paid actors.
We can't afford paid actors.
Yeah.
So we have unpaid gamers.
Yep, basically.
I'm an actor, I think. Anyway, so yeah, that's us. Again, join our Discord. There should be a bajillion links to the Discord in chat by now.
Mhm.
And come hang out with us, because we're chill, and we talk about stuff, and, you know, it's a nice chill time. A nice, chill, easy Discord.
Yep.
And definitely get in contact with us if you'd like to run a one-shot here. We also have our Tuesday night game, which is currently V5, Vampire the Masquerade, set in the 1920s, and we are not jet setting, because jets aren't invented yet, blimp setting across Europe.
Around the world in 80 days. Got it.
Woohoo! And 80 nights. Those were vampires. So for now, we are going, and right now, we are going to raid the Raven channel. I'm not sure how to pronounce their channel name.
Raven.
Raven? Okay. Well, they are playing Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think we've raided them in a while. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Check out our Discord, check out our VODs here and on the YouTubes. Follow us on Twitter. Bug us with questions, because it's not really bugging us. Well, bugs are terrifying, though. It's why they keep being our monsters, because it's me. And until we see you next time, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And watch out for giant evil centipedes. Bye!